Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is a third-person co-op PvE extraction shooter, all about capturing and defending planets, all in the name of Super Earth. Today, this video is just going to be me talking about 5 things that I've picked out that I really like about the game. I'll let Past Jamo take over from here. Enjoy! Alright guys, getting into tip number 1. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about the weapons and the weapon customizations. So, recently, we've now been able to actually upgrade our weapons, giving them different sights, different underbarrel attachments, and different muzzle attachments depending on the weapon. Now this is cool, as obviously it just means that we have more more choices when it comes to actually upgrading our weapons, and the fact that it's locked behind a leveling system basically means that it gives you more of an incentive to try out maybe different options that you wouldn't necessarily choose to begin with, because you're going to have to level them up before you can maybe access the actual attachment you're after. Now this is cool, as it just gives more reason to maybe use weapons that you don't normally use. For example, looking at mine, I'd have never used the Adjudicator before because I always liked the Liberator Penetrator, but because I just recently unlocked the War Bond, and with the new customization leveling system, I thought, why don't I give it a go? And actually this gun is surprisingly good. It does do a lot more damage than the Penetrator, 95 instead of 60, but the recoil is definitely more noticeable on this weapon, which is why I leveled it up until I could get the vertical foregrip, which was thankfully the first attachment. Also, along with weapon attachments, we now have access to weapon patterns, which is cool because it effectively means that you can now match your weapon skin to whatever armor you're using. So at the moment I like using the new Pacifier assault rifle, and I mix that with my armor just because I think it looks good, and the Pacifier has the urban camouflage on it just because I think it creates a cool aesthetic. So point number 2 that makes this game so good is the fact that we also have different types of armor, which provides us with different passives which come equipped with the armor. Now I primarily use the Honorary Guard because I like the reinforced epaulets because it increases my reload speed, it gives me a 50% chance to avoid grievous injuries, and it increases my melee damage by 50%. But there are also other passives which can be good depending on your playstyle. For example, this armor, the Bone Snapper, has a medkit armor passive which allows you to hold an additional 2 stims, which is really cool. So if you wanted to be a medic in this game and really support your team, then maybe this might be a good option. Champion the People is another decent armor passive in my opinion. 50% chance not to die while taking lethal damage, that could be quite useful, and prevents all bleeding from the chest, which is nice. But another popular one that I've seen a lot of people use is the Scout Armor, which where if you place a marker on the map, it generates a radar scan every 2 seconds, and it reduces range at which enemies can detect you. So this is great if you're trying to stealth, and if you're trying to just locate where the enemies are using your minimap. Another great armor passive. Also, as well as armor, we also have different helmets. Now these at the moment, none of them provide any additional bonuses, but some of the helmets do look really cool. The Honorary Guard is definitely one of my favourite helmets, but there are also some excellent other choices that you can choose from. And the reason that this makes this game so good is because you can mix and match. So if you like a specific armor because it provides a bonus, but you're not particularly a fan of the helmet that goes with it, why not customize? Why not wear something else that maybe fits your armor a bit better? And of course, we can't forget all the different capes that you can unlock just by playing the game and unlocking the war bonds. The war bonds I will get to later on in the video. So, along with obviously our weapons and weapon customizations allowing us to use weapons that we like to help fit our playstyle and using armor, what else does this game does really well? Well, the game itself has an excellent range of enemies. You've got the Terminid sector, which is primarily a close quarters faction, so a lot of the enemies you'll be fighting here will require you to be up close and personal, using things like shotguns or SMGs, and assault rifles obviously. We have the Illuminate, which are, in my opinion, a bit of a mixture between ranged and melee combat, because they have the Overseers, which can shoot from range, but they also have the melee Overseers, and we can't forget the Voteless. And the Automatons. Now this is, in my opinion, primarily a ranged unit, so a lot of the enemies you'll be fighting on this front will be firing at you from range with projectile weapons and things like that. They do have melee units, but I don't see them as often as I see the ranged versions of the automatons. So why is this good? Well, the reason this is so good is because it gives the player the choice to choose which faction you want to fight. Now, obviously, depending on the major order, we may be required to defend a certain planet which is controlled by a certain enemy. But if there is no major order, or if you don't actually want to complete the major order, then you are allowed to play a different sector. So the game effectively gives you the freedom to fight what faction you like and liberate a different planet if you wish. Now this is cool because it effectively means that as a player base we don't have to play against one particular faction if we don't want to. Granted, for the point of a major order, it would be nice if the player base did move towards the major order and helped complete it, but at the same time I can't blame them if they don't particularly enjoy fighting one enemy over the next. The whole point is this game gives you the freedom to choose who you fight, and in my opinion, that's brilliant. So the fourth thing that's really good about this game is the music. So just to show you, I'm going to jump into my Hell Pod very quickly. So along with just the music for your loading, the ambient music when you're walking around is cool because it depends on the planet we're fighting on, which is really cool, and also the faction. So I'm just going to go and annoy some of the Illuminates very quickly so you can hear some of the Illuminate music. Okay, I finally found one of the enemies so we can hear some of the Illuminate music. Oh boy. So yeah, the music does change depending on which enemy we fight, which I think is really cool, as it just provides a bit more world building. It gives it a bit more originality when we're fighting all the different enemies. And the last point I want to touch on today is about the war bonds and the medal system. So, as you play through Helldivers, if you're completing major orders or just extracting from missions, you unlock medals. Now these medals can be used on war bonds, which you need to purchase with the super credits, and by doing so you simply use the medals you've earned to unlock specific items. Now, once you've purchased that war bond, provided you have enough medals, you can buy everything inside that war bond. It's kind of similar to a battle pass system, except these are not limited time. So, for example, if you really wanted the cutting edge war bond, which is quite old now, you simply go in, you go here, you purchase it here, and then once it's purchased you can go in and then begin to spend your medals on anything that you might want out of this war bond. Now this is a really cool system compared to other sort of online systems, because it doesn't punish the player base if you're not able to play all the time. So if you're busy with other things and you can't come on every day to check the new war bond and to purchase it, the game isn't punishing you. You can simply go back, select whichever one you want to purchase, and you can simply work your way through it. And because medals themselves are pretty easy to unlock, simply by completing missions, you can find them around the maps in the little point of interest places. Sometimes they are in bunkers or they're in those little crashed escape pods. They're really easy to find, which means that it doesn't take you too long to go through and actually unlock every item inside of the war bond, which is great because it means that you're not just constantly grinding and not feeling like you're actually getting anything for it. This is a really good system. On top of that, the Super Earth credits themselves, although you can purchase them from the store, you can actually also find these in-game in the same places that you would find medals. So any of the bunkers, the POIs, or the little containers that you can use explosives to blow them up with, there is a chance that you can find the super credits in there. Why is this also cool? Because it means that you don't necessarily have to spend loads of money to unlock the new content. This is brilliant. And honestly, it's a little bit disappointing that other games don't follow this kind of way of giving us new content, because it just means that if you haven't got loads of spare money to keep buying all the new war bonds, you're not going to miss out. You still have the opportunity. You just need to maybe spend a little bit of time actually finding the credits, which is really cool. So yeah, that's point 5. Alright, welcome to the back end of the video. This is just me to say thanks very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, become a chum today. It costs you absolutely nothing, but the benefits are crazy good. You get to become part of the army of chums. Yeah, that's it. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the video. Tell me if there's anything that you maybe don't agree with the video. Is there something that you're not a fan of? Is there something you'd like to see added? That's it for today. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time.